once again to Senior Focus. I'm your host, Bill Adams. Senior Focus is a show designed for adults over the age of about 50 or so, and we come to you through Armstrong's Channel 20 and 100, and we want to thank Greg Roten from Armstrong Cable, who brings the show to you. And if you happen to miss the show, it's on demand on Armstrong, and also it's on YouTube eventually, so you can check us out there. There are a number of past shows that are there. Also, we're on Facebook, so you can like us there. Today we're going to be talking about the Yellow Brick Place, and we have three people from Yellow Brick Place who are going to explain what that is. And I guess from right to left, as you're watching, we have Angie Palumbo, who's a board member, and Donna Detweiler, who is a founder. And finally on the far left is Steve Burbrink, and he again is a board member. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thanks. We're going to talk about Yellow Brick Place. I guess at the top, why don't we start with Donna, since you were one of the founders. Just give folks an indication of where it is and how you could be reached, and we'll repeat this later.
Okay, we're located on Canfield Road in the Brandywine Plaza. The actual address is 2959 Canfield Road, Brandywine Plaza, Suite 10 in Youngstown. We can be reached, again, we have a Facebook page. You can like us at Yellow Brick Place. We also have a website, yellowbrickplace.org, and our phone number is 234-228-9550.
Okay, and this sort of stemmed from an idea that you and, was it Anna? I think
Yes.
Anna A. Mm-hmm. And if you want to just describe the genesis, I guess, of how this came about.
In 2010 is when we actually started this grassroots effort. We met after the Athena Awards that year, and we both had, decided to do this. I myself have been an oncology nurse for 20 years by my trade, and so I knew a lot of the things that people, needed help with, especially cancer patients. Mm-hmm. And then myself and Anna are both cancer survivors. So we held a public meeting in October of 2010, and we just filled the room at the American Cancer Society just with people, just anybody, because everybody's been touched by cancer, so just anybody who had an interest. And Angie is my right-hand man, has been with me since the start. She probably wishes she wasn't. But anyway, we just started raising funds and trying to get people aware. We started doing fundraisers at that time, but we didn't actually open our doors until September of 2015 is when we actually had a grand opening, and that's when we were open for business. So it took about 5 years to get off the ground, but well worth it.
And Angie, maybe you could describe again, this is for people who are going through cancer? Is
Right,
that...
right. The major cities in Ohio, and Donna was in Cleveland when she had her stem cell transplant, and she and Anna both utilized the Gathering Place. They have two places in Cleveland.
Yep.
Also, we have there's one in Akron, Stewart's Caring Place, the Victory Center in Toledo, and I believe in Cincinnati there's one also. Mm-hmm. So a lot of our patients, I think, get fragmented care because they're getting maybe care from an oncologist here, from maybe radiation here, from maybe a doctor here, whatever. And this is a very difficult journey to go through with cancer therapy, and you need all the guidance that you can get. So we thought that our area deserved such a place as well. So this is why we decided that we would work to open our own center here. And it's important to know that it's for the Tri-County area. It's not just for Mahoning County because we're in Mahoning, but also for Trumbull and Columbiana clients as well. So we really appreciate being here today because we want to get the word out. We've been open over a year, but we're always trying to market and get the word out so that we can have more people utilize our services.
Mm-hmm. Steve, you're a board member and you're a volunteer, right? And I guess everybody's a volunteer?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm new to the board. I'm new to Donna and Angie. In the last few months, I am also a cancer survivor, and I run a support group here in Austintown. And when I talked to Donna, we've met a couple different times at different events, and it just was a good fit for me. I thought that helping spread the word for the men part of it in their development with cancer and what they're dealing with, maybe we could join hands together and try to work something together. And so far, it's been pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think men, we're less open about, getting help and, we want to tough it out or whatever. But, something like cancer, you need a team of people. You can't just go it alone.
Absolutely.
Yes, I mean, that's a big thing. And the guys are the little stubborn ones, and they kind of want to put things off, but that's what we're trying to do, is just make things grow. And through Yellow Brick, we'll be able to do some more things that we want to do, to more events and more things to get guys involved in it.
Donna, again, what are the times right now that you're open, and when can people come to the center?
We're open Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, 10 to 3, and one Saturday a month, the second Saturday of every month, from 10 to 1. We're also open by appointment, because we do have some people who come for counseling or healing therapies or whatever, and we have people all throughout the community who also volunteer their time to do those services, so that has to be a scheduled appointment. We also do some evening programs and weekend programs for people. All of these services were, in these communities, but we wanted to centralize them. And we're really happy to have Steve on board, because I think sometimes the conception is it's just for women, and it's not. We will service people with any particular type of cancer they have, either through our resource library and offer them, guidance as far as ways they can get help with medication costs, transportation costs, whatever. We try to help them. And it's so important for them not to be going through this journey on their own. It's a tough journey, as Angie said. And we try to keep them well by enhancing their mind, body, and spirit. Try to keep all that healthy, because if everything's healthy, you have a better shot of fighting something like this.
Right. I think in the past, we treated all disease pretty much with medicine, and you go to the hospital or a doctor's office. But I think we're learning as time goes on, there's so much more involved. How about caregivers? Can you address, do you work with that, Angie? Or?
Yeah, we have caregiver support group. Actually, we have 3 support groups and Steve's prostate cancer support group. We have a caregiver support group that's the second Saturday of every month from 11 to 1. And it's so important to address this too, because they have as much anxiety, problems and things like that. They need to talk to other people who are doing the same things. Being a caregiver is just as difficult as being the patient many times, sometimes more. And they're dealing with a lot of things. So the caregiver support group is important. Donna has a multiple myeloma support group. The third Monday evening of each month that meets at Denny's. And we also have a new colorectal cancer support group the third Wednesday of each month. And we also collaborate with other places like Joni Abdu, the American Cancer Society. We're a big collaborator with them. We're a wig bank for the American Cancer Society. Okay. So the women can get a free wig when they're going through cancer therapy. They just have to call us and make an appointment so that we have someone that can help them fit them with a wig, and it's free. And we also have a wonderful program, which is my favorite. It's a beauty program for women. It's called Look Good, Feel Better. It's a national program through the American Cancer Society. And they have trained cosmetologists who come in, and they also, each client gets a bag of makeup that's worth about $200.
Oh, wow.
And the cosmetologist helps them with the appearance-related side effects of cancer treatment. And skin care, how to deal with hair loss, how to deal with when your eyebrows disappear. They show them how to use scarves, turbans, wigs. And then the people come in, and after they come through the program and put on the makeup, and it is true, when you look good, you do feel better, especially for us women. And it's just wonderful to see them. We take a picture and everything. And then they also get to communicate and talk with each other because they have something in common. They come in as strangers, and many times they leave as friends. And so they really do appreciate that as well.
Steve, you mentioned that are you facilitating or the leader of a support group?
Yeah, I was started about 3 years ago. I'm the facilitator for the support group. We started very slow, and I had some really good mentors at St. Elizabeth, and we just kind of got it started and started spreading the word. We had extreme help from the doctors and some of the doctors' offices, and the word started getting to spread. We started getting a lot of phone calls, and we're probably at around 16 to 20 guys at this time. They come at different times. There's no set time for, they don't have to come to every meeting. They kind of come and get a feel. We have a lot of information. We do get nutritionists coming in. We do get doctor's visits. We try to coordinate with Donna and Angie with the Men Up nights that we have at Yellow Brick to kind of just get the guys to come in and talk a little bit about their diagnosis or their struggle through the disease. So and it's specifically a prostate cancer support group, but we'll talk about any kind of cancer if it comes to it. So we have guys that come in, maybe they're suffering through some bladder issues or something, and they just want to find out information. So they come and meet with us. We meet currently at the Urology Center in Austintown, but we're trying to coordinate something for the new year with Yellow Brick Place, and maybe we're going to switch over. We're going to switch some dates over, just so we can coordinate and get some more. My personal feeling is that helps spread the message if we go to a bigger group and we have more guys and more people talking about it. So that's what we're hoping for. So, but like I said, we meet once a month, the first Wednesday of the month, and so far it's been pretty good. We've getting a lot of guys showing up and a lot of guys calling, and some guys call and just want to talk to me, and other guys want to come visit. And the one thing that I didn't see was the friendships and the bonding that's going to come to this. So when these guys come to the groups and they bring their wives, and sometimes they'll come, and the next thing you know, they want each other's phone numbers and they want to talk and they want to meet. And most of the age groups between 50 and 70, and they're a great group of guys.
Now, if somebody's interested in joining or participating, could they call Yellow Brick Place? Would that be a good?
Well, that would be a good start.
Yeah. At this point, why don't we give out the phone number again, the contact?
234-228-9550. And we also have flyers made. I don't know if Steve does, but we have flyers that are located with the American Cancer Society. With mine in particular, since it's a blood cancer support group, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we're on their website too. And I also wanted to stress that everything we provide at Yellow Brick Place is free of charge to the patients and their caregivers, because they're busy trying to pay for deductibles, co-pays, medications, and so we wanted to do that, to provide that as something. Not that we don't think that this is just as important, it is, but it's very, sometimes they just don't have the extra money to get a massage or to have counseling, because our mental health insurance, I think it's going to be changing now, but for a while it just almost got decimated. And so, this way they can come in and get some short-term counseling and that. Yeah, because I think cancer too is a family disease. It's not just that patient. And so we've done some family counseling with people, and we're just in 2017 going to concentrate on trying to do some children's programs as well.
Oh, okay.
Not so much children that have cancer, because we have Akron Children's.
But
and
they're
that's
part of the family.
Right,
Right.
part of the family,
Yeah.
Because another goal we have is not to duplicate, we're not in competition with anybody, and we don't want to duplicate services that are already being done well in the community. We're just trying to offer our help too.
In fact, this coming Saturday, we're having a family holiday workshop at Yellow Brick Place, and we're going to be doing sugar cookies and decorating them and having the kids come with their parents, and a visit from Mrs. Claus, and do a little craft. So we do try to do programs that involve the whole family.
Right.
And so we do have monthly programs as well. And if anyone is interested in what the monthly programs are, and you don't have to necessarily be a cancer survivor to attend a lot of our programs, because we believe that education is very important. Knowledge is power, and a lot of our programs are of interest to everyone, really. And we have a monthly calendar, and if someone wants to be on our email list, they can call our phone number and give us their email. And at the end of each month, we have a volunteer who's, we call her our wonderful secretary, who does
She's
everything.
amazing.
I don't know how we work without Sandy Wayland. But anyway, at the end of each month, she emails out the monthly programming so that someone can see ahead. And then we ask a lot of times for them to call and make a reservation, because sometimes we'll have refreshments or we'll have speakers, and we'll want to know how many are going to attend. So that's one way of knowing, and then also going on our website as well.
Yeah, and Steve, again, specifically with the prostate cancer, what I know from my own experience is that there are screening services available, free screenings. I think it's Humility and Mary does this on
Right,
occasion.
it's part of Mercy Health. It's a program called Man Up Mahoney Valley.
Right.
And they provide 4 free screenings throughout the year in different parts of communities. So you'll have one in Columbia County, Trumbull County, Mahoney County. They're provided 4 times a year, usually different times of the year, and it's free of charge. And you'll have the PSA and the DRE. The doctors donate their time and they come in, and we'll get numerous guys from different communities just showing up. So it's all free. You just have to watch the Mercy Health website to find out when those are. There are different times of the year.
Yeah. And again, that's the kind of information that you could help share,
Right.
with people.
Absolutely.
And maybe Donna, if you want to go back again to, you talked about the history, and we know you opened, September 2015 at your current location. What's the current, I guess, need that you have? Do you need volunteers? Is that, and funding, maybe you want to talk about that too.
Yes, both. They're both extremely important, and we do a volunteer training every other month too. It takes about an hour. It's very easy, but we like all our volunteers to be trained. And then they can volunteer in many different capacities. Some people are office people, so they can actually come into the office to work. Other people are better at working on fundraisers. Some people go out and do funding. So we need all the volunteers that we can get. And I think some of the other centers that Angie had mentioned probably work off of a couple hundred volunteers. So we're not there yet, but we're getting there. And the volunteers we have, we just really want to thank them too, because we couldn't do it without everyone volunteering, and that's really, really important. Funding is a definite need because we, depend on combined funding such as grants, donations, and an annual appeal. So we just sent out a newsletter, which came this last week, asking, and no donation, is too small. And of course, there's none that's too big, they could keep coming in. But in order to, as I said before, to keep providing these services free of charge, we have to depend on that. So if anybody can help us that way, we surely would appreciate it.
Yeah, I have seen on your website you've gotten some donations from like Rotary.
Yes, from the
clubs.
Rotaries. We've also got some donations from different foundations. The Youngstown Foundation was really instrumental in getting us, started, because they do some startup money, and they really helped me. And Jan Strassfield, who's the executive director, really mentored me on a little of that, because I never wrote grants, and that's like really important. So she really mentored me a lot. And the other one was Mahoning Valley Hospital Foundation. Mike Senchak and his group did a great job of helping us with getting started, and then also some of the banks, Home Savings, Huntington, and a couple private donors. So we are really, really grateful for that. We just had a fundraiser here in Austintown. Actually, the Austintown Eagles did a fundraiser for us, and the Canfield Soccer School Program did a pink out. They always do it during Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which was August, so they just did, and they've done that for I think this is the 3rd year they've done that for us, so we really appreciate it. So maybe we could challenge some other schools to get involved in that, because that's a really, really nice thing to do. So whatever, and then we do a couple major fundraisers. We have one scheduled for April. We have a luncheon and fashion show. We do children's fashions and adults. This year it's April 9th, and it'll be at the Avion on the Water. And
That's on Western Reserve.
Western Reserve Road, right. And then in July, we're doing a golf outing, July 14th. It's a Friday, and it'll...
At Squaw Creek.
At Squaw Creek. And then we have a couple other things in the works, maybe a dance party. And also, it's been suggested maybe a dog walk or something too. So a color run, we had a color run in the past. So we really try to do our own fundraisers too, which are a lot of work, but they are a lot of fun too, and that really helps with the donations
And if
too.
people like to help with fundraisers only, we look forward to that. A lot of people
Because the days of the
enjoy
event.
that, and because if there's just a handful of people, so much easier to have other people help with that. Getting gift baskets and all those kind of things, that's really time consuming, and that we appreciate any help like that. So.
Exactly. And then also in-kind donations, like water, bottled water, or paper products. Those always, help too if someone doesn't have a lot of money to get.
Right.
Sure. Now, I think it was Angie that mentioned the Abdu Center, and Dr. Abdu was on. He's been on a couple times. But it sounds like this is very similar in that, again, what he was explaining was, he's trying to put patients at ease. It's very stressful, and again, also it goes to, I know his reasoning was he had to leave town, he and his wife, for a lot of services. So again, you're trying to bring all of this to the Youngstown, well, again, Columbiana, Mahoning, and Trumbull counties. But maybe describe, if you could, the beginning, somebody calls or they walk in, what do you do with, what do you discuss first with somebody?
Well, first of all, they are calling in with a need, for example. Maybe they have a kind of cancer. I know one day, a lady, I was in the office and a lady just walked in and she was in tears and she had just been diagnosed with breast cancer. And I said, well, how did you find out about us? And she said, in Cleveland. She found out about it. Yeah, because we give brochures and that and talked with the social workers at the hospitals in Cleveland, because a lot of our clients do come from there. But how she got our information is every year, Donna and I would go to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. They would have a program on blood cancers. And we would go and we would also set up a booth. And this was even before we were opened, that we were going to open in that. And her husband was being treated for blood cancer, so she happened to pick up a brochure, and she kept it all a couple years. And she said, I have to go someplace, so we just sat and talked, about what happened, and we don't give medical advice. That's
Right.
right.
No medical
Everything's but we listen, and if we can help in any way. Then she came to Look Good, Feel Better, and she just said that it made her feel so good to just talk to someone. And we keep in contact with a lot of our people. We do follow-ups. We call them, how are you doing? Or they'll call us and tell us how they're doing. Or and just last week she referred a friend of hers to us too. And that's again through word of mouth, and she was from Trumbull County. Sometimes people are really, really sick and they can't come in, but maybe they'll want to talk on the phone, or maybe they say they have a special need. Maybe they want to sign up for short-term counseling, or maybe they need information about financial assistance, and we have a volunteer who can help them with that too. So you never know what's going to happen.
Right. We ask them, to come in for an assessment, but sometimes that isn't possible depending on how they're feeling. But we like to do an initial assessment, and then maybe we can target their needs a little better and tell them the services that we have. And as far as coming from Cleveland, a lot of the social workers, the one I had talked to a lot, said that they were so glad that we were going to open in Youngstown, because what'll happen is you'll go there for treatment. Like when I had my stem cell transplant, I couldn't have it in Youngstown. There was no facility that did it. So you go to Cleveland, and then when they're done, they really don't have any place to go. So they were really waiting for us to open, because then they could refer them back to us, because they don't stay in Cleveland, they come back home then after,
Right.
And it was pretty much the same thing with Joni Abdu. We met with Dr. Abdu. I love Dr. Abdu. I worked with him many years at St. E's. And his wife, God rest her soul, and they were just marvelous. And but we're actually something for them after. They do the one-stop shopping there for the breast cancer patients. They have whatever other they get diagnosed there, they get their referral to their surgeon there. But then after, there's an end point. That's where we come in.
And I think the biggest thing that Yellow Brick Place provides is I know personally on cancer diagnosis, when you have that, you can turn to your significant other or somebody, but they don't have cancer.
Right.
So it's when you can call someone like Yellow Brick, and you can call those people, and they're dealing with some of the same stuff that maybe you've dealt with, and they can comfort you. I think that's a big thing.
Right.
Right.
Because all
Very,
three of
very
us
true.
are cancer survivors.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, that sort of unites everybody
That's
here,
right.
all of you.
And if you think about it, everybody's been touched by cancer, whether it's them as a survivor, their spouse, their cousin, their friend. So I don't think there's anybody that hasn't been touched. So that is a common goal.
And that just, for me personally, my father, when I was in high school, he had lung cancer. And it would have been nice to have something like this, where, again, you're talking about maybe expanding to have the children involved as part of the family.
I think that's the one comment that we've heard more and more. Like we've had a couple people who were treated once before and maybe relapsed, and that's the comment they've said before, like, I wish this would have been available. And then we had somebody who lost her husband, and she said, I wish that this would have been available when we were going through this. So it is really important to be to hear from people in similar situations, what you're going through, the feelings that you have, and, you know, so that you don't feel so alone. And I think that's been our mission, just if we could help one other person not feel so alone,
Right.
then we'd be doing, you know, so if it's just one person that walks in the door that day, we're still
Right. It
accomplishing
makes
our
your day.
mission.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
and, you know.
That's doing what you're
That's
there
what
for.
we're there for, right?
Well, you know, of the services, we have a few minutes left, of the services that are available, one, I remember reading about massage therapy. Maybe can you talk about a couple of those, some of the services? Again, massage therapy is one. That sounds interesting to me.
It is. Massage is always a good thing to have. We have a couple of specially trained masotherapists, and by the way, we are looking for more because that's the area that we seem to not have a whole lot of volunteers. So if anybody's interested in that, that would be great too. Because we're always going to, as I know, one for sure, and she works a full-time job and she has a family, so it's hard, and she always tries to get it done. But massage therapy is just a way of relaxation, and all of the therapies are. The 3 healing therapies we provide are massage, Reiki therapy, which it isn't really new, but it's kind of new to the people in this area. But it's similar to massage. You know, you get the same mind sight, but they don't actually touch you. They take the energy from the universe. I know it sounds crazy, but in the West, Chinese, and they've
Right.
used this for many years.
Japanese,
been,
Yeah, the Japanese,
Western,
but
yeah.
they take the energy from the universe, the positive energy, and they just kind of go. Sometimes they'll touch your forehead or maybe your shoulders, but they don't do actual massage. And then you're supposed to shed all your negative energy. And reflexology is a massage in the foot area, and they're specially trained to target different areas. And you know, all of our nerves end there. So if it's back pain you're having, if it's you know, like knee pain or whatever, they target specific areas. And it does help. All of them really do help as far as pain. Because if you could keep your mind, again, and your body, you know, in a good frame of mind, then it really helps you deal with all the other things you might have to deal with, the negative,
Right,
you know, the radiation.
the less
the
tension
chemotherapy.
and stress that you have,
And
the better.
and some of our
Exactly.
other programs deal with that. Like we have someone on our board who's an art therapist. We've had a couple programs right now. What's big is adult coloring books and repetitive, and it releases stress. And we've had a sip and paint and different things like that where people can express themselves through these activities.
Journaling. We try to introduce them to different things.
Yeah, we've had
help them.
storytelling where they could write a story. We've had poetry appreciation. Not everything definitely has to do with cancer, because we've had some fun things like line dancing and Tai Chi, and we do chair yoga. We do several classes of chair yoga every month. We have a wonderful volunteer who does that, and we call her every month, and she tells us what date she can come. And that's really good too, not only for stress reduction, but for flexibility and things like that. And anybody can come to those classes as well. And so we've had jewelry making, so we've had a lot of fun things.
Nutrition,
too.
we do some nutritional
Nutrition,
programs. And of course, education is our big thing, so we've had some educational programs there, as well as in the fall, we had one at the Holiday Inn. In Boardman, we had a doctor from the Cleveland Clinic come down, and a local doctor, Dr. Knight, and did some things on blood cancer during September.
Well, thank you very much for sharing. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. But I
Thank you
do
very
want
much.
to, one last time, mention we've been talking with folks from Yellow Brick Place. It's Angie Palumbo, Donna Detweiler, and Steve Burbrink. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
you could
Thank you very much.
contact them at 234-228-9550. Again, you've been watching Senior Focus. I'm your host, Bill Adams. And thank you to Greg Roden and Armstrong Cable. Until next time, thanks for watching.